Hey folks, this is Steve with Real Progressives. How are you doing today? Hey, I know there are a million ways of looking at the world. It's one of the beautiful things about having a mind that can think through problems. It's one of the nicest things about understanding that there has to be a plurality, in this world. You can't just ramrod stuff through. In a perfect world where it's just progressives and we're all just sitting around singing Kumbaya, man, you can do anything you want, right? If we're all just sitting around and agreeing with each other, man, we could do everything we want to do. But we can't. And therein which lies the problem, right? We're not in a progressive world. We're in a world full of people that don't really pay attention, don't care, are comfortable. They live the way they live. They do what they do. And you can't even get people, regular people that you can't even get progressives to understand our monetary system, to understand that taxes don't fund spending. They will fight you. They will fight you as if you're trying to kill their firstborn to keep their myth alive and well. And then what happens? Every single time we talk about it, you got some guy who just thinks he's a visionary posting stuff about Jacques Fresco and the Venus Project. Now listen, I love the idea of a resource-based economy. I love the idea of not being stuck in a situation with debt-driven money. I love the idea of being able to just live and not worry about crazy nonsense, lowering your blood pressure, being able to have a decent life without the stress of pushing paper from one side of your desk to the other. I love it. But again, we're in a pluralistic society, right? We're in a society where unless you completely are an anarchist and the world is full of anarchy, you can't just do an anarchist move to shove the entire world, forget the United States, folks, where you take the entire universe, the whole world, and put them on one giant resource-based economy. Look, I could sit there and come up with all kinds of fancy stuff that we could do in 300 years once we've had 5 other, cataclysmic events hit the country and, a post-nuclear USA rebuilding and stuff like that. You could always come up with a way to do something fantabulous if you're greenfield, if you're starting from scratch. The problem with everything that we bring up, every single thing we bring up, there's got to be a transition strategy. How are you going to get 50% of the country that doesn't want any of this stuff to be this way? How are you going to get that to suddenly pay so much attention to things that they can instantly change to a resource-based economy? Seriously, I'm not even being a smartass. I love visionaries. I love them. But when I talk about modern monetary theory, I'm talking about what we can do today for people that are not able to eat, who can't afford their homes, who cannot afford to pay for their education, who are freaking going belly up because they've got a heart condition. We're talking about people that can't afford their wonderful Obamacare. Okay? Great. Let's talk about a resource-based economy. But how do we get there? It makes me so angry when I try to explain what we can do today, right here, right now. We're not talking about a global paradigm shift. We're talking about right now. The system in place right now. We can change people's lives right now. And instead, people want to flash up the Venus frickin' Project at me. I don't know if you understand how difficult it is to get people to focus for 5 minutes on economics, much less, oh, by the way, here, let me throw something at you that literally would require a complete and utter upending of the entirety of everyone's existence. Good and bad, just being honest. You would have to get everybody to suddenly agree to do this. So it's a long time coming. It's stuff to start looking at and start considering how we can get there. But in the meantime, why in the world would you sit there and not even bother to learn how you can make people's lives better today? Why would you like skip that part? Oh, I don't want to talk about that. That's not left wing enough for me. Oh, I'm special, guys. I'm so far left I roll. Guys, I am left. And I love a resource-based economy. But I'm trying to help people dying today. When I walk down the road and I see some homeless guy there, I'm trying to help him today. Not in 400 years when we finally get the entire Middle East and Africa and South America and everybody else to sign on to this currency-less, debt-less environment. It is so frustrating that people won't focus on what they could do today to make the world a better place, that it just makes my head explode. One of these days, I'll do a full breakdown of the Venus Project and the resource-based economy, and it is a wonderful idea. I don't want you to take what I'm saying in any way, shape, or form as saying it's a bad idea. I like it. I love it. It's got so many wonderful things about it. There's nothing wrong with it. But it is completely inactionable. And what are the things that Steve Grumbine talks about? I talk about actionable things that we can pull off, that we can do. And the things I'm talking about, for most of you, even now, it's making your head explode, the idea that your federal taxes don't fund spending. So how in the world are we going to go from you not being able to accept that basic thing to suddenly getting completely rid of a capitalist environment and going straight to a resource-based global economy? Think about it. Okay? I mean, we're talking about the stuff that derails people's ability to focus on making change now. If you can't get people to understand that taxes don't fund spending, and they still want to fight back and forth about raising taxes to pay for stuff, if you still have to have those kind of stupid conversations because people don't understand, how in the world are you going to derail that basic stuff trying to shift to the Venus Project about a complete resource-based economy? Think about it. Think about what I'm saying. We have people today. We have an environmental crisis today. We are still surrounded by people that are Republicans and libertarians that don't know economics at all. We are talking about the people that will kill our nation through ignorance. And we are talking about lots of Democrats who are still steeped in this idea that we've got to tax our way to prosperity. So how in the world are we going to migrate to the Venus Project? I'm just saying. Just saying. Just saying. With that, I'm Steve Grumbine, hoping you guys try to help somebody today while you're dreaming of tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody.